Inspiration comes from many places, from the shows we watch, books we read, and the games we play. Honestly, watching film, anime, and reading comic books ultimately made me who I am today, a really big nerd! Ideas don't just come from nowhere. Our imaginations need some type of spark to light the possibility of a new idea. In some cases, creators look at a project and ask themselves, how would I tackle it? Or, how would they do it differently? Adaptation is a common phrase that's being used lately. The definition of adaptation in the film or TV sense is a pre-existing work being made to something new, something familiar, or sometimes unrecognizable.
Yeah, you can kindly fuck off. It's nothing personal, but your mark's coming with me.
Hey! You kiss your mother with that mouth? Yeah. Oh.
Now, this practice is common in the entertainment industry, and when you have permission from the original creator, almost anything goes. For example, shows like The Office on NBC and Shameless on Showtime are adaptations of shows that originate from British television. Even though the ideas for these shows were spawned from a different country, the American shows have their own unique personality, and characters have their own stories to tell that differ from the original British show.
It's just like the Pilgrims intended.
The main topic I want to talk about today is when Western companies adapt Eastern properties. More specifically, I want to talk about when Japanese properties come over to the US. Now, we here in the western side of the globe consume a great portion of Japanese culture in our everyday lives. The majority of the shows I watched and the games I played originated from Japan. Many of these Japanese properties were licensed by or had partnerships with Western companies to show their content to Western audiences. English dubs were made to replace the Japanese audio, with majority of it sounding passable, and with a few exceptions.
It's my memories. You have no right to access that information! You can't treat me like this, you bastards! This is like being a laboratory rat! I'm a human being! Oh.
With these partnerships, there are some hiccups with content being portrayed and branded. For example, in certain anime that were portrayed in the West, some shows had all references to Japanese culture removed to make the shows more relatable to Western audiences.
What's up? It's a giant sandwich.
Hey! Give me back my sandwich right now!
Whoa, what's that?
Look at this dude.
All jokes aside, moving on. Hollywood has been dead set on adapting Japanese anime and manga into live-action features, mainly because it's easier to create a story when it's already written than craft your own. And it feels like they're running out of things to adapt, so we have to go elsewhere to get something to adapt.
What did he say?
These companies look at the numbers, they see what people are into, they check Twitter, and they're like, hey, we adapted most of our books already, like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. Now we have to look elsewhere. What are the people into right now? People are really into anime. The streaming numbers don't lie. So now they're like, okay, why don't we take that, get the rights, get the approval, repackage it, and then sell it again. Doesn't matter if they like it or not. It matters that it does numbers. It's a very touchy subject because I don't think Hollywood understands what anime fans want. I don't think they understand why we're mad. I mean, I'm not mad. I am. They're not good. Hollywood hasn't got anything I love dearly to my heart. They haven't. They've touched a couple things, but I'm okay. There's nothing they have that can really hurt me. You know, there's nothing they have that can really hurt me on a deep emotional level. There's nothing. Oh. I don't like that at all. I want to turn back the clock a little bit. Going back to an earlier age where Eastern to Western adaptation was fairly new. In 1954, Akira Kurosawa directed the epic samurai drama Seven Samurai. It's a story of 7 warriors coming together to protect this small village from bandits. Along the way, they form a bond, a close-knit bond, and really grow as individuals throughout this short period, the short bubble in time, and to the point where they lay down their lives for this village. So Seven Samurai really opened the door for Japanese cinema being shown in other countries, and when the film eventually made it to the West, people were astounded with the high quality of Japanese cinema and storytelling. And then it eventually found the eyes of actor Yul Brynner, who advocated to have this movie made here in the US. In 1960, a direct adaptation of Kurosawa's Seven Samurai was released to the US. Directed by John Sturges, The Magnificent Seven was released to theaters across the country, only 4 years after Kurosawa's film. Now, the story of this film is almost identical to Seven Samurai, and going into it, Sturges was fully aware that he was copying another filmmaker's story, but at no point did he think that he could surpass the original. While these stories mirror each other, there are some key differences that should be noted. The changes in setting, the seven taking place near the border of Mexico, the cast being all white, and the village that they're defending from the bandits are poor Mexicans. So it's basically white people saving minorities. Now, I remember watching The Seven before Samurai and thinking how creative the storytelling was and how interesting the concept was, not knowing that Seven Samurai came first. So when I eventually saw Seven Samurai, I was confused. I was like, which came first? I wouldn't say I was disgusted, but I was kind of appalled that you can copy a story that thoroughly. It almost sounds like Sturges asked Kurosawa if he could copy the homework, you know?
Hey man, can I copy your homework? Huh? Can I copy your homework?
No, you can't copy my homework! Darius bitches!
Like Samurai the Seven was hugely successful. Even Kurosawa enjoyed watching the film and sent Sturges a samurai sword as a present after watching. Which kind of means a lot when you think about it. Like, if this was me and if I was a director, if I was the director, I would feel some type of way about someone copying my work. But at the same time, I think it's kind of different. I think Kurosawa and many artists from the East find it as a form of flattery. And they're just like, well, look at what my work can do. Look at what my work can inspire. And I never really thought about it that way until making this video. I do blame Hollywood for all these adaptations. But at the same time, they still need permission from the original creators. And my assumption is that the creators feel like the more eyes on their work, the more value their original work becomes, which is pretty deep when you think about it. Personally, I still have my gripes with adaptation, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Like for Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, Death Note, individually these are good movies. The only problem is that they have the names Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, and Ghost in the Shell. If you take the names away, these shows and movies, they're actually pretty good. But since they're adaptations, we have this expectation of like, oh, is this going to follow the source material? Are they going to do the character justice? It messes with your head. I don't know. I just feel like this kind of stuff is not going to go away, but I feel like if the original creators are happy with their work being shared to the world in different forms, then I guess I should be happy too. And that's all I really have to say about this. Thank you for watching, and I might do this again sometime.